Guys, welcome back. I am so excited to be bringing you on another luxury stable tour. Today we're visiting my friend Marlies, who I've known for a couple of years. I have come on and off on her property for a few times, and it is the most beautiful horse property I've ever been to. Out of all the stable tours we've done, out of all the places in Wellington, Germany, everywhere we've been, for me, this is the place I draw the most amount of inspiration, especially for the project that we're now doing. It is a small stable, but you'll see no detail has been left unturned. The landscaping, the management of the horses here, and her incredible breeding project it's out of this world. So we're going to be going to say hello to Marlies, and she's going to be showing us around her incredible property. Hi!
So much looking forward. Hi.
Oh, nice to see you.
I am Marlies 𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘. You're here at our little stud farm in Holland. It's called 𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘. What we do here at this stud farm is we crossbreed loyal Iberian mares and talented warm blood stallions in order to produce reliable, safe, versatile, but good moving horses for the more serious amateur riders.
This has been the highlight of my calendar. We've been talking about this for a while. We're gonna get into it all for the video, but I've had this date on my calendar and I've been so excited to come see you. The weather is amazing. This is like a sanctuary coming to visit you. You have the most incredible place. You have the most incredible project that you're doing here. I've been to a lot of places, but this is my most favorite stable I've ever visited. Out of all of them, out of the Wellington places.
You're making this a very humbling experience.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna give it to you. I mean, I've told you all this in private already, but there is so much inspiration so many people can take here, from just the beauty of the place, how you manage the horses. I think if more people did it like you did, we wouldn't be having anywhere near as many issues in the horse world. Yeah. So I'm just excited to share this place with everybody, and thank you so much for allowing us in, because this is your private home. It's not a giant stable with thousands of horses. It's a very small stable, but I'm excited to share it with everybody. The first time I visited, I said, where do you get all your interior stuff? Like all of your furniture, all of your decorations, just everything is exactly what I like. And you would send me the sweetest messages with like all of these recommendations. Go here, go to Piet Jonker, go to this place.
Exactly, yeah.
And I did.
You've been there.
And I did, and I did.
I saw it on Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, but maybe you can give us some reference as to, you live on what I can say is the only hill in the Netherlands.
Most probably, like in the middle.
Yeah.
There's one in the south.
Yeah.
In the middle, there's one hill. Yeah, it used to be in the ice ages,
yeah.
when there was a lot of ice covering Holland. The ice moved, and they just moved debris and stones up until it's the Heuvelrug. It's called the Utrechtse Heuvelrug. And Heuvelrug, if you put a shovel in it, it's all stones.
Okay.
It's sand and stones.
Yeah.
We are now at 64 meters, which is the highest point.
Whoa, lightheaded.
But it's funny because even at 64 meters, there's a difference. If you're in the village and you see the plants that are now in spring starting to come into leaves,
yeah,
they're a few days ahead.
Oh, really?
There is a temperature difference. In the winter, it's often, if it's here -5, then it's been 0 in the village.
Wow, you have like your own little mini climate here.
Mini climate, but it's also, of course, because there are no other houses around that warm. So
yeah, it's so rare to find a place in the Netherlands where you're not close to a road, you don't have many neighbors, and here you are in the middle of your own forest. Can you tell me a little bit actually about the property? Like, I know you've done a lot here and it looks very different to when you moved in, but what was the bones of the property, and how did you know that this is where you were going to make your equestrian dream?
Now, when we ran into this place, it was quite by accident, as these things happen. It was indeed right in the middle of the woods. If you go into the village and you talk about this house, they always say it looks a beer bottle. Somehow they think this looks like a beer bottle. If you say we live at number 16, they say, oh, in the beer bottle. And in the beginning we thought, well, what is that all about? But then it turned out that Mr. Harnacke, the one of the Heineken beers, he used to hunt. His friend built this house and they used to be here and they hunted here.
Oh, no way, I didn't even know that.
In the 60s, there's an old stone in the house that says the first stone was laid by Mr. Emmons, and he was in the board of directors of Heineken.
Okay.
And Prins Bernhard, they had this own little place here, and of course it was then very, very wooded area.
Yeah.
The villages were very small 50, 60 years ago. So they had that, but when we came here, there was no running water, there was some electricity, but very shaky. We have still gas from a tank.
Yeah.
We have water from the ground. There was no central heating, so it took quite some time to get it into. But we've been here now for 30 years. People often say you build your first house for your worst enemy, your second house for a friend, and the third house you're going to live in, because you're going to make so many mistakes.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
one.
So I thought I don't want to make all the mistakes that people are that they are warning you for. So it took me 2 years to actually get from the first stretch to the start of the building. And then I ran into a very interesting man. There was an elderly man in the village, and he had been renovating monuments all his life. Mm-hmm. And he said, if you want to build a building that feels comfortable around a human being, it should not be measured in meters like we do now, like 8 meters by 5 meters. Yeah. It should be measured by human measurements, like they did in the old days. Feet, elbows, they had all sort of length that they, of course, if you start building, you will convert it to meters, but he said it should, a human being should fit in it twice, or it makes it feel comfortable. And in the beginning I thought, oh, that's going to complicate it.
You're like, this is getting difficult.
But he was absolutely right. Well, we're very happy how it worked out.
Yeah, awesome. Let's take a walk, and we pop through to the stables. They're not that far, which is also nice.
Yeah, it's also nice.
They're only about 10 people away. With me for just 60 seconds, because I've just opened up a brand new website for my horse Emporio, and that is because I'm finally offering him for breeding, starting from this breeding season to forever. But in order for me to be able to promote him and to house everything, I had to create a new website, and that is where Squarespace has come in so handy again. This whole new website, mhbreeding.com, was created so easily on Squarespace. They offer hundreds of already made templates, so I was able to just run through, have a look, and quickly identify which ones I wanted to go with. There was already recommendations in terms of layouts. I could quickly assemble everything, and in only a matter of a couple of days work, we were fully operational and ready to go. There's a shop backend, people can place an order in order to have the service stud fee, and everything has ran so smoothly as always. This has given me so much more confidence, again, having created what is now like my 4th or 5th website through Squarespace, that this truly is the best platform. So whether you're thinking of opening up a new website, or if you have a current website and you're not really liking the setup, I highly recommend converting to Squarespace. You will not regret it. Now, for any of you that are interested, you can use my link, which is www.squarespace.com/Harnacke, and in doing so, you'll receive 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thank you, Squarespace, so much for the ongoing support, and now back to the video.
10 people. Well, this is my favorite part of the day. I get up at 6:30 every morning, and still in my pajamas, I go feed the horses.
Oh, I love that.
And then you have the birds. They make an enormous noise in the morning.
Yeah.
And there's the dog running around you, and you enter the stable, and it's woo, everybody's happy to see you.
Yeah.
That's absolutely the most favorite moment in the day.
Yeah. And the most sweet little, we'll take the grass, but the most sweet little meandering parts.
I saw you caught up on that.
Oh, yes.
It should move like water.
Yes,
instead
exactly.
Of being straight. Yeah,
it's also about like the feng shui of everything and how it feels.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have this, like this most incredible lead up to your stables. And you were telling me just a little bit before the concept of a square, you were saying.
Well, to enclose it, because if you just run into a stable and it's very airy on this side, somehow the energy runs out.
Yeah.
And by having these birches, we close it in, and you can understand when there's a fall in that stable when you come in the morning.
Oh my gosh, magic.
It's magic.
Yeah.
It's absolutely magic.
And can you tell me a little bit, we're gonna go in obviously and take a look at all the details, but can you tell me a little bit like the styling, how you kind of came to this kind of style for the barn?
Well, I'm very much into thatched roofs.
Yeah.
So that's another logic thing to do, because there's a fire danger, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we like it very much. And in English cottages, you always see the thatched roof is slightly too big.
Yes.
It's like a mushroom with a too big head.
Yeah.
That's what we tried to do here too.
And kind of like cuddles the building.
It cuddles the building, and it's slightly round. It's not like this. It's sort of like this.
Soft.
So the man who had to make the roof thought I was completely crazy, and it wasn't crazy for doing it. But in the end, it did work out. And then we have the holes in the roof, so that the air ventilates. So it hardly ever smells like there are horses in there.
Yeah.
It moves around. And of course, the fact that there are so many doors, And there's always a nice moment in the spring when the doors go open.
Yeah,
and over the winter, of course, they're very, very often closed, and we only open them on nice days.
Dutch weather.
Dutch weather. But days like this, it's wonderful.
Maybe we start the tour on this side. I just want to take people through your hedge. It's just the most magical fairy tale-y place here. It's like every time you go and explore a different part, it's like a little adventure that you go on.
Yeah. I like this. If you look at once the leaves are out, you can't see that anymore. But it's a bit like
the architecture of it all. It's
and it's the 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘, the fairy tales.
Yes, yes. It's like when Snow White is getting trapped in that forest.
Exactly.
That's exactly how it feels. But I think that's something you've done really well on this property is that the journey to and from different places is enjoyable. Like it's not just about efficiency. Make the path in a straight line, keep it open so it's easy to clean. It's about making every moment along the way to and from the stables or the fields pleasant.
No, we've done that on purpose. You're right. You catch up on things very quickly. But it's also like creating chambers.
Yeah.
This is a separate chamber from around the house, and then there's a separate chamber from the other field, the paddock. That you walk into one from one chamber to the other.
Yeah, like different rooms. Yeah. So this is quite an interesting concept because you have one stable. We'll start the tour from this side of the barn, but you have one stable that's kind of alone here.
Yeah. And we built it with the idea that it would be a sort of quarantine stable. If there's, because with foals and mares you have the infection risks.
Yeah.
If a horse comes in, like Imperial was a while ago when you were here, we can put it here, and it will there will not be a problem at all.
My horse was here.
Yeah. But because if you put a mare in here on their own, she doesn't like that. Of course, she wants to be with her friend.
Yeah.
But once the mare has a foal, they love this stable.
Yeah.
Because then they have their own little area and nobody's interfering with them.
Sorry, I'm listening to you, Marlies, but there's the cutest dog. I can't even. Who is this? Who's this dog? Is it your dog? Oh my! What is his name? Leo. Is it a bloodhound or what? What is the breed?
No.
Oh, a Basset. The cutest dog. This is really a
right
fairy
out
tale
of the
place.
Toy Story.
I was just talking to Marlies and then there was gorgeous puppy just like waltzes past. All right, then traveling down, we have like the main kind of stable block through here, and it's in this, would you call it this like a semicircle or a V or like a...
Yeah, well, I think it's L-shaped, but
L-shaped,
I did put different stables in. These stables, as you will see, I don't know whether you are very low.
Yeah.
So the older horses are perfectly fine here, the mares are perfectly fine here. But on the other side, I built two stables that were higher up so that if there would be a stallion or any sort of trouble, that you can close them up.
Exactly. Because you have had stallions in the past. You don't have any now, but you have had stallions in the
And they were here,
past.
no problem at all. But I had a couple of youngsters here, two foals, and one keeps climbing whatever it encounters.
Adventurous.
Yeah, and then it's fine that it's nice to have something that you can just close up to be on the safe side.
Absolutely. And I love here how you kept everything kind of exposed and raw materials rather than painting and everything, like the raw wood, the brick. It's just done so tastefully. And then once these doors are open, it's like you're in this in and out space. Yeah. You're no longer in a building anymore.
That's what feels so good.
Yeah.
That's what feels very, very good. And we try to keep the stables as low as possible so that it gives a friendly, airy feeling to it.
Yes.
And most of the mares are perfectly fine together. But when I used to have the eventing horses, they could also, all of them could be here very well.
Hi, you're very sweet.
She's in the zone. She'll be the first to deliver, and in the last week before, you can see that they sort of shut off. She's like this very often.
It's very interesting to me because I don't have a lot of background with breeding, and because of our project, which we will explain a little bit later, but it's going to be actually really interesting to learn from you for a lot of these things because it's really a completely different world.
A completely different world. Yeah.
How many stables do you actually have in the block itself?
Oh, there used to be 5 when we built the thing. And then we added a birthing stable because, these stables are perfectly fine with a foal, but to give birth, you want
more room.
Just a bit more spacious. So there was a part of the stable that was used to put in the lawnmower and all that sort of stuff that had to move out. And we changed it into a mare stable, and very happy with that.
Yeah.
Because Well, we'll see it down the road.
It is special. It's a really good concept that we will definitely take a look.
So this is the more open one, and the other block where we have 2 more stables, that's where we chose for slightly higher walls, so that if there might be a more difficult horse or someone that bites, or a horse somebody else, you can close it off.
Yeah.
Or youngsters that misbehave. Hardly ever happens, but
it's possible.
Yeah.
And this is a little bit of kind of like storage / some of your tack, and
this
it's useful space, because you
very
always
useful
need
space.
these nooks to like put all these things in.
Yeah, it's very useful space.
This is kind of the entrance, let's say, from the other side. You have like a building that has 2 different looks, whether you approach it from this side or whether you approach it from that side. It's striking either way, but that's actually quite neat. You don't get many barns that have like a little bit of a different vibe on either side.
Yeah, probably. And we separated this with the idea that you could have 2. You can have 2 different stables. This could be the mare stable. This could be the stallion stable if need be.
That's smart. Yeah.
And now we don't need it, but it's handy.
Yeah. Because sometimes some stallions just can't handle it.
No,
it's just too much. Oh, this is it's so nice. Also, there's a lack of doors, like the spaces flow into each other, and this is your tack room.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's where you keep all of your gear, and you have like even like your bridles going up, couple of bits, the boots. It's just done so well.
Yeah, well, it's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, it is.
You can put all the bridles in some drawer, or you can sing, because they're always quite beautiful, actually.
It is. They have their own beauty to it themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's functional, because the tack-up area is
next
here.
Yeah.
So it's just next door as well. So if you just need to pop in and grab something.
Yeah. That's exactly what we talked about. The walking routes that you think through when you're building a stable are very important.
Yeah.
And this is the most important one, of course, that if you're brushing your horse, you can just fetch stuff. And now that if you untack them, the horses are so used to it, they can stand here on their own. You don't have to rope them up to the wall, and you can just walk to the tack room, take stuff off, and they'll stay here, which I always like is very much.
And so these were the 2 stables you were telling us that are a little bit more closable. Yeah. And you have just a couple of the breeding mares in here.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is indeed a breeding mare, but she's not pregnant. And we kept her. She has given us 3 foals last year, and she had a slight complication at the last birth. So we thought, well, let's skip a year. Mm-hmm. And she is very, very rideable and very, very easy. So we now use her if I have to bring a 3-year-old to the 𝒋𝒐𝒏𝒆𝒚, for instance, a few weeks ago. She joins in the lorry.
Oh, yeah.
And she just gives a companion. She's very easy. And I think when the 3-year-olds come back, once they're settled back and we want to ride them in the woods, she can join. Yeah. Because she'll just be the little guidance dog that will take care of it. So she's having a wonderful job now, but I might inseminate her again this year. Yeah. And she has been inseminated, and she's due in June, so that's quite far away. I was going to say, because she doesn't look that big. No. Like, I mean, you can tell there's something cooking. Yeah, no, but she still has quite a while to go. She's the mother of the buckskin cross. Yeah, I know which one you mean. Yeah, which came out really nice. Came out really nice. She's had 4 crossbred children till now. 1 Escanto, we could see, is in the field somewhere. Yeah. And they all turned out very nice, because she moves very good. Yeah. And unfortunately, genetically, she's a sort of color miracle working thing that you can't. She has every color under the sun in her. Oh, that's fun. So whatever you do with a stallion, you always get these. I very often put those in a calculator to see how much chance they have on a buckskin or palomino. Yeah. And with her, it's every color is 18%. You just never know what you're going to get. So it's always a nice surprise. It's always a nice surprise. Yeah. It's always a nice surprise. Yeah. And this is the stable we were talking about, the birthing stable. And I think it's a really, really smart concept what you did here with the space. But maybe you can kind of explain your process here a little bit. Yeah, I definitely can. As a matter of fact, it was a coincidence, because I told you it used to be for the lawnmower. This was just an area that we used to put stuff away over the winter, and then we changed it into the birthing stable. And then we worked out that when these horses when the mares have a foal, they are, of course, slightly protected. Even though we have very easy mares and they are very friendly to us, but then again, you would want to give them some privacy in the first few days to get to know their foal. So they don't really like you being in the stable. You're there to take the manure out, of course, But if you want to touch the foal, what we tried first, we had some wood here at first, and it turned out that the foals are very curious. So they come to see you when you're here.
Yeah.
And you can start touching them and scratching them. The foals love being scratched.
Yeah.
So in no time they would sort of parallel park next to this, and you could just scratch them all day.
Yeah.
And be in contact with them, and the mare would not be disturbed by it
without
at all.
upsetting the mother.
Because we are not in her stable. And in the end we had a little table here with the drinks, and we just had a wonderful time looking at the foals. But once the mare has given the foal and they switch to another stable, then the next one has the same experience. But we keep switching it all summer, because if the foals are in one of those stables, they're very low, so you hardly ever see them or ever touch them, other than when you take them out of the stable.
So it's good training as well, so you keep the flow going through.
And they become more and more naughty whenever you come here. And
cheeky.
In the end, we had one that is actually, he kept trying to jump it, because I made it too low for him, obviously. But I wanted it to be low on purpose, because it's just airy. No, but I'm very happy with this experiment.
And I've come here a few times when there has been mares in here, and also with the foals, and they're just very happy in here.
Absolutely.
Because they're still connected with the other horses, but they have their own space.
Yeah.
Very smart, very smart. Maybe we can take a look at some of your training facilities and what's going on this side, because if I remember correctly, there's the lunge yard just on this side, and we have to go through another magical hedge. Or maybe there's the other pathway as well.
Oh, well, this hedge is still, of course,
I'm just trying to go through every hedge I can. Here it is. That's right.
There's a lunging stable, lunging place. Of course, with the mares, we ride them. And we lunge them every once in a while, just to be a bit in shape and to bend their bodies a bit. With the youngsters, I try to have the youngsters in hand a lot. And I pick a bit of Tristan Tucker. I'm a big Tristan Tucker fan. But also the Freestyle Academy by 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒆𝒚. You can work your horses free, and you can do that with youngsters without any problem. And it's just having fun with them, actually. Exactly. And connecting with them. And you get to know them so well by doing that, because you get a very special relationship. Well, Jesse knows everything about that.
Exactly,
So we actually use this round pen quite a lot.
Yeah. And just opposite, there's like another, this is more like a sand paddock. And this connects down to your forest, which I think would be nice to show as well.
Exactly. It's a sandbag, but it's also a sort of a break, because if you call them, they come running out of the woods. And they come at high speed, and then they can break here before we take them out.
It's like for trucks on the highway when there's those like sand areas after a hill.
Stone stop. And it's right in the middle of the sun, and we use it in when the foals are just born. We can have a mother and a foal here and a mother and a foal here, and they can just, without being all the way down in the field in the first few days, you can just have a look at them if everything is fine, and
keep track on everything, make sure everyone's happy.
But basically every morning when we take them out, there you saw a couple of empty stables. If we take the horses out of the stable, we put them into this paddock. And the paddock is open, and it interconnects with the field down the hill. So they can amble down themselves, and when they're hungry or when you call them, they luckily always come up.
So this is what we were discussing about, like heading down into the horses can head down to the fields via the forest here. And it's nice that what you've done also with the property is, rather than like forcing something on it, you've just embraced what you have. So a lot of people would have just thought like, I'll just cut down all the trees and just make it easy going. And you just kind of were like, no, let's work around the forest and make that part of like actually enriching the experience. And it's quite nice. You even have some like hay nets hanging on some of the trees.
Yeah, because the fields are, of course, they're green, but they don't feed a lot. So
so they have access to whatever they need. And it's such a little sanctuary here, because you're just under the canopy of the trees. And you have this like light dappled shade. And also we have I mean, how can we not discuss the view? For you guys and for the horses. And you were also telling me that something happens every morning here as well.
It's ridiculous. If you put horses out here, they will stand there for 5 minutes and they look at the view. Every horse does that. And then they amble on to the field. And I cannot understand why, but somehow I didn't realize that it could look that far, actually. But obviously they can.
They can, they must, They're kind of like getting ready for the day and just checking their surroundings over their kingdom.
No, but it's nice and shady here very often. And when we're in the house, of course, it's fun to see the horses ambling around here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we'll pass through. You want to go down there?
Yeah, I think that would be nice. We can pop through. I think that's one of the most special things is always like the connection to the horses from the living.
Yeah.
So like they kind of, Jess and I always love the idea of having them visible and close and kind of part of of our everyday life, also when we're not at the stables.
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, very often when my husband and I are having drinks there at 6 or 6:30, and the ones that are in here, they want to go into the stable, they really start looking into the room like, hey.
Hello. Yeah.
Have you forgotten about me? So no,
exactly.
that interconnection is really, really very, very nice.
And this is the view that we were discussing also at the beginning.
Yeah.
This
the 64 meters height difference. Yeah.
And it just looks over the fields of the horses, which is even more special. Not only the beautiful view of the nature in the forest, but also your beautiful mares down there. It's incredible. I have really not seen any places like this.
Imagine it being with 5 mares and 5 foals over the summer,
oh my
and
gosh,
you can just see them all dancing around. It's
exactly.
No,
it's literally the fairy tale.
It's absolutely. I'm a very, very, very lucky lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there anything, I know we have discussed a little bit like the layout for you for the management side of things. And I know you do something quite special in the winter with the mares. I mean, now we're seeing the mares going in the fields down here in the Netherlands with the weather that we have. It's not always manageable, but you've kind of thought of quite a unique, interesting way of managing that.
Yeah, well, there are 2 ways. I very much believe in horses being outdoors.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so the youngsters are outdoors 24 hours a day, as long as they have a shed. And the mares over this winter, I did the same thing. I had them outdoors with a rug, of course, and a shed. But they came in after the winter being totally healthy and fit.
Happy.
They were totally happy. So I take them into those fields in the last 4 or 5 months of their pregnancy, when we don't ride them anymore anyway. So they can just be, and it's a bit of a herd. They're the 5 of them together, being very cozy. And as you can see, there are 2 fields here.
Yeah.
The field on the right-hand side has a path through the woods up to another paddock.
Yeah.
And that's where we keep the foals in their first year.
Yeah.
So when we separated them from the mares go into another field, and the foals are here, and we want to have them in hand on a daily basis.
Yes.
So, and then you have your last little chance to put a stamp on their behavior and on their trusting you and on learning whatever they're learning. And that indeed we've sort of built it, a stretch tent. I'll show it to you, which sort of blends into the fairy tale woods idea.
It really does. It's really worth showing because I think the concept is quite simple in itself when you hear it, but actually the result is very nice, and I think could be done way more often. We'll go take a look because it's quite an interesting, nice place to see. The gardens here are just so incredible.
Oh, it's again the separate chambers. You're in a different room than you were in the other one. That's
exactly
works. Yeah.
It's all like these different journeys you go on, and it's also like mentally, it's actually very easy to remember where you are on this property because there is distinct features. Like this is wisteria, I imagine, on here. Yeah. So like you have like the wisteria path, and then over the other one, it was like the beech hedge that was like a tunnel. Yeah. So you have all these different and
you have the little river going to the stable.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So much inspo here. It's like being on Pinterest here. It's like, it's just magical. So this is the structure we were talking about. Yeah. I think quite ingenious of you to make this kind of setup.
Well, the idea, of course, is shade and being dry over winter.
Yeah.
Because this is where the foals are the whole winter, and we don't have them in a blanket or whatever. It's windy here. It's -5 degrees if it's -5 degrees.
Yeah.
But they have they can be dry. And the sand that we put in there, it stays beachy all winter.
Yeah,
so they have
it is giving like a beach club vibe in here.
Yeah, it's very comfortable for them, and it's funny. You see 3, 4 of them lying around in the sun, just being like this.
Yeah.
And when it storms, it's also educational for them because
the sound as well, of course. Yeah.
In the beginning, it was a bit of a gamble. Will this work enough? But I'm very happy about it, actually.
Yeah. And the nice thing is that, so this this part of the paddock, let's call it, with this cover is connected again to a forest that goes down to the fields. So then you can choose to give them access to this or all the way down to the fields if the weather allows it as well. But maybe it would be quite nice to go and look at the fields, because there is a very special mare down there, which would be nice to very quickly meet.
If she's still there, yeah, we could definitely do that.
The mares are also thinking it's time to go to the grass.
It's time to go to the grass now. And they always first check, of course, is there any food here? No, there isn't. So, well,
but it's nice that even with the access to the field, you also give them access to the hay. Like they can kind of pick and choose what they want. This is so magical, like this little pathway through the forest, and also like how close it is still to the house. That's where we were standing just before. But it's so connected, and it really is this little like fairy tale-y step through. And the girls are coming with us now. Behind us, they know that's going on. The mares are joining, but also for the young horses, having like uneven ground and stones and things. Like so many times these sport horses are raised on these perfect lawns and they just don't get good footing, and then you take them on a trail and these horses just have no idea what to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm definitely in the same mindset. The more natural you keep horses, the more they benefit. Oh, here they come. Okay, girls. Well, they know exactly what they're doing on this terrain.
The big bellies.
It's quite nice that you have this open space at the bottom.
Absolutely.
That you have the space to graze
and
them.
And it was already there. We didn't have to cut it. It was there from the beginning. But one of the things that you will notice, perhaps now that you see this, we've heightened the fence with these. You can see 3 or 4 electrical wires going around there.
I do see that.
That is all in order, of course, to keep the wolves out. That's my biggest.
I mean, that's been such a big topic for everybody in the Netherlands now, especially people like you who are breeding and have foals, vulnerable
breeders'
horses.
nightmare.
And I think in this area you have a lot, right?
It's wooded, of course. It's wooded, and then they don't like to hunt in the woods because they have to crisscross all the trees. But once there's an open space in the woods.
But you haven't had any experiences here with them entering or coming in?
No. But as I told you, we have this badger fence. You can see the fence underneath, so they can't go underneath the.
They can't dig their way in.
They can't dig their way in, and they can't. I hope they can't jump.
Is Vienna still out? Do you know?
Yeah, she's in the other field.
We will. It's a very special mare. But we will go next to her, and then I'll give you guys the announcement. There's something special brewing in there.
There's something very special brewing in there. Made to order.
Yes. Custom made. She's huge.
She is huge.
She's absolutely huge.
She's absolutely. And the other one is going to give birth a week after later.
She looks like half the size almost.
But that's a warm blood, and she's much bigger, so she can carry the foal easier. And she's 1.70 m, and Vienna is, of course, smaller.
Goodness.
Now the first one is Vienna. And you see, she has always been round-ribbed. More Pyrenees are more round-ribbed, and she has that especially. But this is her 3rd foal, and with the first time that she was pregnant, you can see some women carry children very nicely, and some are just like, this is a very heavy load. She's one of the heavy load ones.
The reason that this is a special mare is because there is a very big Emporio baby in her.
It's
the very first
big
one.
Emporio baby.
It's the first mare that's been inseminated by Emporio, and we kind of wanted to do this project together to see what we would get a little bit and to be able to kind of share that as well. And she is a full Pyrenees mare, actually from a really good good breeder in Spain.
She's by Poeta, the 𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘. And Poeta is a very successful, he's a 6-time Spanish champion. He's a very successful stallion. And the lady who runs the 𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘, she realized that about 20 years ago that bullfighting was coming to an end in Spain, and that they had to change the breed a bit into dressage horses. And that takes many generations. But she started quite early, and she is now producing very good moving dressage Pyrenees. And she's very, very serious about it.
Well, and I feel so lucky that I was able to, for the very first foal, have such a good mare with such good breeding and potential for the foal to come out. And she is carrying very low and very wide. It's just so odd to me that there's like an Emporio baby in there.
Well, I sent you a little video when it was moving. It was like boop, boop, boop. It went like this.
Wow.
Which is, but if you look at her, it's not going to take a lot of time. The milk is already there.
We're right now in first week of April,
Yeah.
and she's due first week of May, but you told me that she usually delivers 2 to 3 weeks early.
Yeah.
So it could be that we're like 2 weeks
2 weeks away. Yeah.
from something very special popping out.
Yeah.
What do you think color-wise it's going to be? I know gray is quite a strong
Grey is
gene.
quite dominant. So
Yeah.
it will probably be, because she has some gray in her pedigree, but it's quite far away. But it will probably be gray.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is the next most likely thing after gray? It would be like her color, kind of like a...
Yeah, I think it's
It's
90% gray.
Yeah, like it's gray.
I'm afraid it's just going to be gray.
Yeah. No, very, very exciting. And this is one of your other mares who's obviously also pregnant.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned, I used to have this Lusitano stallion,
Yeah.
Galito, and I had him for a long time, and he actually inspired me in crossbreeding. He
Yeah.
was the most pleasant horse I've ever had in the world. He could go cross country, he would show jump, he would take me into the woods, to the beach. He was a Grand Prix with a size horse. He was absolutely
Yeah,
great.
I remember him.
And he passed away, unluckily, but I still had semen.
Yes.
So I thought, well, I'm going to buy a 𝒂𝒏𝒆𝒚 mare
And try that
and
cross.
try that
Yeah.
cross so that I have a new Galito after
Because
that.
typically you're always crossing with a 𝒂𝒏𝒆𝒚 stallion to a Piri mare.
Yeah.
And now it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see actually if there's any
If there's any
noticeable
difference.
effect.
That's
or...
interesting anyway.
Yeah.
A slight correction, I don't use the 𝒂𝒏𝒆𝒚 mares, stallions, it's more like a warm blood.
Sorry,
And- yeah.
warm blood.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
yeah.
my experience has learned me that if you want a stallion that has a 10 for character and rideability on its stallion test, you end up in Germany.
Yeah.
Because
okay,
the
interesting.
first thing is that they actually give the marks.
Yeah.
In Holland, they're not that specific about it.
Yeah.
And the stallion test in Germany, they go through a stallion test, and in the final days, they get good riders in, like Isabella Huerta, the serious good
Yeah.
riders. They ride all the stallions and they mark their rideability and character.
Yeah.
And a horse like Secret, that I had 3 foals of, he had 5 10s.
Yeah.
And then you think, okay, if 5 riders give him a
I
10
can
for
trust
character,
that.
I can trust that.
Yeah.
And it works out incredibly well.
Yeah.
He gives very pleasant horses.
Well, it will be really fun because when I come back to see the special foal that comes out from Emporio in Vienna, we will also be able
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
what has come out of her as well, and Galito. That will be very special for you
that
too.
will be very
I
special.
think a lot of people are like, where's the arena?
Yeah.
Like, where
Where do
happening
we
with
train?
the outdoor arena? And you have a very, very special outdoor arena because it's just surrounded by woods. It's
Yeah.
very special.
Yeah.
So maybe we can duck over and have a little look.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice because you have it just a little bit, the stables are just to the right.
Yeah.
And you have it just a little bit in its own little sanctuary.
it ac-
And it's ebb and float, the arena?
No, we're this high that
Oh, you don't? Oh, yeah, it just runs off.
it just runs off. Actually, the grounds at the 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 are, the water passes through very easily. So it's
Yeah.
just a net and then 13 centimeters of this material, and that's it.
Wow.
And it's been here for ages, and
Yeah.
we've done show jumping clinics in it and whatever, and it's very stable.
It's so nice in here because you are just so tucked away.
Yeah.
And there is just like you said, like some people that come and walk dogs and that kind of stuff. But it's also good because it gives the horses some exposure. Otherwise, if they never saw anything, then you take them out to a competition or some of these licensing or BOP test or
Yeah,
whatever they're
yeah.
called, and then they would just freak out.
Yeah. Well, I actually do take them to different locations just for them to get used to it, because
Yeah.
this is, of course, very quiet surroundings, and
yes.
they need to be in a stable where there are pony lessons going on and all sort of things going on.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for giving us a tour around your beautiful place. We're going to continue to film, and you guys are going to be seeing in the next video, we're doing a whole dedicated video to our breeding journey with Vienna and Emporio and the first foal we're creating together. And a little bit of like some telltale signs of when a horse is looking like they're going to give birth, because we've talked about this, that I want to try and stay on like emergency call, that you can just
You're
ring me
more
and
than
say,
welcome.
get here, Matt, there's a foal on the way. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, also the insemination journey and how that went,
Yep.
why we picked Vienna, and a little bit of your other breeding that you're doing here with the crossbreeding and some of the offsprings that you've had. So we're going to get into all of that in the next video. But I hope you guys have had a good understanding of what Marlies is doing here at the property and just how incredible this place is. But I think for now, for the first video, that's everything.
Wonderful.
So thank you guys all so much for watching, and we're going to catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.